Hello and welcome today. This has been a wonderful day in the world of crypto. My account's been moving and showing me what the top 8 assets everybody needs to have in their profile to have a solid base at today's cost basis. So it's not about necessarily going crazy and putting all you can into it. I am doing these videos to help every common day average person working an average job who only has a little bit to invest in the right places and spaces and time. And timing is right now this week where things in crypto are starting to move. And I'm going to share the top 8 assets for those who've been with me since I started this channel and for those who are just finding my channel now to get started on your journey of being your own positive and self-confident, self-directed investor. And I'm making these recommendations based on how my profile that I've been working on for many years is actually starting to move right now. And so I want everybody to be able to have the advantage of getting today's cost basis, because these same assets next week are going to be more valuable. And in a week's time, you should see some movement. The movement's going to depend on how much you're putting into it. I'm encouraging everyone globally, worldwide, who can see these videos, that even if you have a little bit, starting out with $1 on each of these 8 assets stabilizes your investment profile, because you'll have $1 at today's cost basis. Of course, if you put in more, you'll have more of a platform and more stability of today's cost basis going into next week and every week thereafter and month and year and so on and so forth through the rest of your life. Today's cost basis is your foundation for your future growth. But don't be discouraged just because you have a little bit. Putting in a little bit is better than doing nothing at all and watching the whole financial shit pass you by. So, my recommendation is for those who are just getting on and getting started and don't know how to get started, we're going to begin with that so that everybody's on board and anybody else coming on board can watch this video and know how to get started without having to go through all my videos. So we are on Coinbase.com if you're on a computer, and the Coinbase app if you're going to your Play Store on your phone to download the Coinbase app. Pardon me. I'm sorry about that. And the reason we're on Coinbase is because Coinbase has what's called Coinbase One, which is a subscription service of theirs where you can insure your account for $1 million protection. Now they've changed their terms and conditions to you'll have a one-time reimbursement of up to $1 million if anything should happen to your profile. And they reserve the right to continually change those terms for better or for worse, and we just have to keep checking back, I guess, every month is what it's looking like to me, that they're doing their updates. Hopefully they're moving in the direction of making their protection more sound instead of less sound. However, they are the only platform out there I've found that will offer any kind of protection at all. And that's what I want for my sensitive situation, is to have some kind of protection on my assets if anything were to happen to them, because I'm in a sensitive place that I can't afford to invest and then just have it disappear and I'm out of luck. So Coinbase One, at least offering their insurance plan for their monthly service charge, which I don't know what that is right now for newcomers. You would have to check that out yourself. And so after you've downloaded your Coinbase app, if you haven't already, and you've signed up, and you get to the beginning page of Coinbase, in the upper left-hand corner, there's a box of small little dots, and you would click on that next to the search link, and then it'll show at the top, when you've done that action, your name and profile settings, and then you click the arrow next to your name and profile settings, and then you would scroll up, and you'll see where it says account, Coinbase One. You tap on Coinbase One, and then it'll tell you all about their offering for newcomers, which I don't have access to because I've been subscribed for a while. But it's telling me today that I still have my $1 million protection on there, which is for a one-time occurrence, which before it was for the entire account at any time. So we'll have to just follow how they change the terms and services of it. But for now, they are being honorable and keeping my business by having this plan to keep my assets insured. Also, right now, they're offering me zero trading fees. I don't know what that is for the newcomer, if they're doing that or not. You'll have to check that out when you look at it. And so to pay them between $19.99 and $30 a month, depending on if you actually share your Coinbase One account link with others, they accept that they get involved. You both save $10, reducing the plan cost. And the more people you do that with, you can potentially get the plan for free and or start earning up to Coinbase rewarding you with $100 that you can invest. So it's good to get into, to insure your account, to get the zero trading fees over having to pay a trading fee on every asset you trade throughout the month, as well as share with your friends and have them get on the Coinbase One, and you both get a $10 discount off the subscription price. And the more you share, then you both start earning that $100 to invest and not come out of your pocket. So that's a wonderful advantage, and that's my goal, is to share my years of investing experience with you so that you can have a successful, self-directed life that you want to live, that you haven't been able to find up until now. And I call this love-based investing, where I've become a self-directed investor over many years. I've found my successes. I share them here so that you can get stable, you can start your growth, and the growth is starting more immediately than any other time in financial history. In the past, I've had to make the investment and wait and see if it grows or not. And it took months or years to get that kind of growth. Well, here in crypto, this week, after many years of investing, I'm seeing the largest movement in my account that I've seen up to this point. So I've waited the 5+ years in getting my assets built up and a platform established to where it's now taking off. And I think that if you are able to stabilize your account today and putting these 8 assets into your profile at whatever level you can afford, and you find out what you can afford by doing your monthly budget, by your income coming in, minus everything that you own expenses, and seeing what you have left over. And like I said, the minimum is you could invest $1 or 50 cents or whatever Coinbase will let you invest at a minimum. I think it's $1 in each of these 8 assets. And if you take their Coinbase One plan, they should have a trial period on that for 7 days or whatever they've got out now for the newbies. You'll find out when you go there. I can't have access and see that because I'm already enrolled. However, if you get into the zero trading fees and you share it with friends and they get into the zero trading fees, you could potentially put $1 in each of these 8 assets and have an $8 investment. And that will start your cost basis for today at today's rates, because next week they're going to go up, or in the next week they're going to go up. I mean, the crypto business and world actually can move within hours, I'm saying now. So you could make your investment $1 in each of these 8 investments, and you could find out you're making pennies within hours. It just depends on how fast it's actually moving out there on the market. But it's moving faster than any other asset that I've ever gotten involved with. So I want to encourage you as a positive and confident self-directed investor that if you've already been trading and making up your own decisions and going crazy with all the things that are out there, I want to give you a stable basis. And so if you've been going crazy and you've been trying to search and you've been going after the lowest possible cost asset and things like that, it's not wrong. You will be right in crypto because at some point, everything in crypto is going to gain. I'm saying that unless you are a Mark Cuban and you have $100,000 to put on some of these extremely low cost basis coins and MEMs and NFTs and other crypto assets to make the money off of the small gains with a larger sum, is going to take a very long time for you and I, the average person, to see an enormous gain off that investment. It's not a wrong investment. You're right for making the trade and placing your money there. Just realize it could take years for that 60149 asset to get to a sizable level. And on that, you're getting something like 32 million shares of that asset today. Well, if you just hang on to that particular investment for years, yes, it's going to gain and it's going to grow. Maybe not at the pace that you want it to, but it will gain and grow. And if you would stop swapping that out for other assets that look like they're going to take off, long term, you'll be fine. I've seen that with crypto, unlike any other asset. If you had the capital and means to invest it, you could potentially put $5 on every crypto asset out there on the marketplace and own it all and sit back and just watch at what rate everything grows. And so once you make a dedicated investment in a crypto asset, I'm encouraging you to just let that sit and let it grow at its own pace and its own time. And don't try to buy this to swap for that unless you are really a higher level investor and you understand all the different blockchain methodologies. Because what I'm seeing from my personal experience and trying to understand the different blockchain methodologies is that on the Coinbase wallet, which is also another downloadable app off your Play Store or coinbasewallet.com, you can buy Ethereum as an example. And then there's a different blockchain that has another asset you want, and you end up having to swap that Ethereum for that asset because however the blockchain works, you can't buy that asset directly and pay for it cash out of your bank account. So they got you in this pinch, in my eyes, of buying the Ethereum, swapping it for that coin over there on this other blockchain, and hoping it goes and grows. Well, like the other day, a friend of mine came to me and said, how do I do this? And I'm asking them, well, why are you doing this? And how much does this really mean to you? Because to me, it's costly. And so I walked them through the process on how they would do it. And so they look for the best price, and it says, well, it's going to take $20 to make this trade. So then they click submit, and it hits their Ethereum, and they didn't have enough Ethereum because now in just seconds to minutes, the network wants another $20 or $30. So now they're making a $51 gas fee and other network expense burn off to try and just get $10 of this other asset. So you have to say to yourself at some point, or at least I do, is this other asset on this other network that I have to put $50 to $100 in Ethereum up for stake, basically, by swapping my $50 to $100 for $10 to $20 in this other asset. Is that really worth it? Well, if you really know where that other asset's going, and you really have a way of calculating at how fast of a rate it's growing, it could be. But for me right now, that's just beyond my financial means and ability to take $100, buy Ethereum, swap it out for $10 or $20 of some other asset, and hope I get my $100 back in any kind of real time now, instead of having to wait years down the road. But if you have more money than you know what to do with, and you can do that kind of thing, then cheers to you. But for all of us regular, normal, everyday investors, where our money matters, our jobs matter, the time and energy we expend to get that money matters, here's your top 8 assets to get your stabilization for your self-directed investment account today. So, after you've opened up your Bitcoin account and you've gotten on your main page, I don't know if they just all pop up for you or whether you're going to have to type it in the search link in order to see the asset. But once you have Bitcoin, either because you searched for it or because it's on your home page, and you see where it says Bitcoin, you just tap on Bitcoin if you're on your phone like I am, or you could click on it from your computer. And then you see that Bitcoin right now is at $61,426.76 and just changed over to $417.10. So Bitcoin's having a little bit of fluctuation as these ETFs go up and down. Well, the understanding is that Bitcoin has a halving coming up, they're predicting on April 20th. And this halving is going to reduce the amount of Bitcoin out there in circulation that you can tangibly buy. And now with the ETF market, when the halving occurs and the people that have been invested in it for a long time sell off their Bitcoin, these ETF money managers are going to try and buy up what is left on the market, so that you have to come to them, buy into their ETF to have any kind of future Bitcoin gains to support your life. And then they win by charging their brokerage fees and transaction fees and all of that stuff in the financial market. Well, today is your opportunity to put your $1 or more, as you can afford according to your budget, over these 8 assets to hit today's cost basis. Even though 61,000 may seem extreme to you, I'm not asking you to find 61,000 and buy an entire coin. Just owning a slice of a fractional share of Bitcoin that you can hold on to right now for the Bitcoin halving coming up in April, as well as beyond into 2028 for the next halving. This cost basis now will be lower than the cost basis in 2028, because the coins are going to shrink up and become more valuable by scarcity. So you want to put your $1 or more in Bitcoin, and when you've tapped on Bitcoin and it pulls up the page and it shows you the pricing, and it has a chart that shows you the fluctuation, on the left hand corner it'll have a positive symbol that'll mean buy, and you would click on that, and then you would put in the amount that you want to buy and the payment source and follow the steps to making that purchase. And those steps are the same with all of these assets. And so you'll want to invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cosmos, and Stake it. So when you click on Cosmos and you see the same type of page as you did for Bitcoin, and you see the buy positive symbol, and you put in your amount and you follow the steps to initiate your purchase. You wait a minute or two for the purchase to be complete, and that'll show up as a primary balance in Cosmos. And when you see the primary balance in Cosmos, you'll click on the primary balance. And then when you click on that primary balance, it'll show it up in the upper left-hand corner, and then you scroll up again until you see where it tells you that you can stake it. And then when you say stake it, you'll follow those directions. It'll tell you how many days that it would take to unstake it, what the percentage rate is of earnings while it's staked, as well as the rewards they're offering you for using your money on the network. You will gain some kind of daily or monthly rewards, so your money is not only being given that interest rate on the physical cash that you staked, but as well as out there on the network doing their function, you're going to get a kickback of some kind, depending on how much you've invested. Is going to determine how much your kickback is. Again, the more you put in, the more you'll get. But everybody needs to do something, even at the $1 level if that's where you're at, because something over nothing is better than watching it all pass you by. And then after you staked it, you'll have to wait another couple minutes, and it'll show up as staked and the percentage rate you're earning. And then you just have to wait the number of days that were on that page that showed you how many days it takes for you to earn. So if it says it earns every 3 days, well, you bought it today, so you got to wait 3 days before you start seeing your first earnings coming up. And if you want to see your earnings after that time frame, you click on that asset, which was Cosmos, and then you scroll up to your primary or your stakes balance, and when you hit your stakes balance, it'll pull up the screen of what you've bought and what you've earned, and you scroll up and see all that. And you also want to stake your Ethereum, so you'll be buying Bitcoin, Ethereum and staking it, Cosmos and staking it, Solana and staking it, Litecoin and Bitcash. Then as of last night's research, you'll want to add Polkadot and Chainlink. Now, I have a speculation of my own I'll throw out there, and you can decide if it's a good idea for you or not. But I'm going to also add, as of last night's research, Bonk. And the reason why is because when you search and look up BONK, Bonk, each asset in Coinbase, when you click on it and you scroll up, it will have a description of what that asset does, the network they're connected to, and their projection for the asset. So Bonk is on the Solana platform. Solana itself is going up, and with Bonk being a lower cost asset connected to Solana, I'm kind of placing the bet that Bonk will bring in gains, and I'm starting to see that today. So depending on how much you put in each one of these will depending on how much you put into each one of these assets will determine the platform stability of your account. Something is better than nothing. Starting at $1 is better than doing absolutely nothing. Putting in more over time in these assets will build your foundation gradually. So for the month of March, I want y'all figuring out your budget, what you can do for this entire month of March. Get involved in these assets I've just named. And if you need to review that again, it will be Bitcoin, Ethereum and Stake it, Cosmos and Stake it, Solana and Stake it, Litecoin, Bitcash, Polkadot, Chainlink, and my new added Bonk. And that will get you started to where the gains are flowing in my account, so they should start flowing in your account. And the more you're able to put in through the month of March, the more solid foundation you'll get, and the more gains you'll start seeing coming about. Then, after you've stabilized your account this month in March on these assets, we're going to get into April's halving. And so at the top part of April, you'll want to do your budget, and you'll want to see how much you have to invest. And at that time, because of the Bitcoin halving, you will probably want to just put what you can invest for the entire month of April into Bitcoin itself before the halving on the projected date of the 20th, so that you can get the most Bitcoin halving increase for your portfolio, as well as the most fractional shares of the coin that you can own. And for those who are just beginning and haven't done this for years or months, to have built up more Bitcoin fractional shares, and this is going to be your foundation, I suggest to you that you don't go crazy and sell off today's cost basis 100%. If you see gains on just this little bit that you say, hey, that went up enough with this halving that I want that, well, don't do 100%, because today's cost basis is going to be a supporting platform for your future halvings and your future growth, depending on how the ETF actually affects the market. And the more you personally own, you own it. You're not paying a broker to manage your crypto. See? Once you own it, you own it. The longer you hold on to it, regardless of price, you can do what you want with it. And you don't have to be affected by somebody else's terms and agreements and decisions on whether they wish to change the proration on which they're paying you your cut or not. You just will get the total asset value because you own it. And so I'm encouraging everybody that if you've got a little bit of fractional shares and you're going through this halving and it increases and you need some of that money, don't sell off 100%. Keep some of the cost basis. Keep some of the fractional shares of today and let it ride potentially throughout the rest of your life. Because with the cost basis is stabilizing you today, the idea is to add a little bit more to it. Yes, it'll be a higher cost basis, but you'll grow your portfolio each month as you add more at a higher and higher cost basis, and it'll take a little bit longer for it to continue to grow until some network decides to do a supercharged explosion, and then it'll start gaining a lot stronger. Because on some of these, the more coins you own, like for example, Cosmos is $11.26, right? So if you're able to buy one full coin for $11.26 and you're able to stake that, you're in a great place because you own one full coin. Each coin on any crypto asset has 10 tenths to it. And then below that, you go into hundreds of thousands of fractional percentages of shares there. So you want to do something over nothing, even if you're at the $1 level. You want to hold on as long as possible until you start getting more funds to put in more, to grow it up, to potentially reach one full coin or more on some of these lower cost coins, and hold on to them and watch the gains grow. If you've got more and you're able to do more, you're going to find more. That's the way life works. But I'm encouraging everybody to be involved and for nobody to be scared and for nobody out there to have to say, this is scary, I can't do it. Oh, yes, you can. All you have to do is be honest with yourself, take charge of your life, say, I'm the best person for my life today. I'm going to do something over nothing. I'm tired of everybody else determining what my life is going to be based on what they pay me. I'm going to work my budget. I'm going to find out what kind of finances I have left over at the end of the month, from my income to my debts and liabilities. And I'm going to start proactively doing this, putting in my $1 at a time, or $2, or $3, or whatever it is your budget says that you can afford to invest, and slowly grow your account each and every time you have more increase in your life, instead of going out, getting drunk, spending $30 at the bar, all these other wild behaviors that people are doing with their money. If they'd take the money on their wild behaviors and put it into investing in crypto, getting the insurance plan through Coinbase One to protect their assets and stay stable, they'll have a more abundant life to go out and do those wild and crazy things they're doing right now to a much greater degree, actually. But because they're doing it this week, next week, all the way through the halving, they're cutting their life in half from the wealth that's out there to get with that money that they're spending that way. So, you need to ask yourself, what is my life about? Am I just a worker based on per hours a week, and that's all I am? Or I believe in myself. I know I have the power and the ability to do something greater. I know I want a greater life for myself. I know that I can actually plant $1 a month in each of these assets and watch my profile grow. And I believe that doing so and being responsible for yourself and doing something over nothing, stop blaming others, but take the actual initiative and doing this yourself will change your life forever. It has when I did it for myself. And so now I'm trying to share my secrets with you so that you can do it for yourself and find your gains and your growth and your pattern as well. So, I hope this is helping you. I hope that you will take the time to understand that I'm doing this because I care about other people out there in the world. I want everybody to be able to not be fearful, not be intimidated, and have a sound place to invest that will insure you, like Coinbase with Coinbase One, and waive the trading fees to give you maximum bang for your buck and having it in the asset of your choice, or as I've made my suggestions to you, as a foundation to get started. And I do recommend that if you invest in other things, make that investment and leave it alone. Don't get on the networks and try and cross trade and burn up your money on all these network fees. I find that hard to swallow. But if you've got the money and you don't find it hard to swallow, then cheers to you. And I hope you enjoy that journey. But for all of us that are just average, normal, everyday people, here's your foundation. And again, you'll want to invest what you can at your pace in Bitcoin, Ethereum and Stake it, Cosmos and Stake it, Solana and Stake it, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Polkadot, Chainlink, and my new edition of Bonk. So until I put out my next video, I hope all of you are subscribing to my channel. If you're on your phone, it'll just say subscribe on the screen. You hit subscribe button and stay subscribed. As you see your gains and growth over what I'm sharing with you, and that reinforces a confidence in your ability to be your own self-directed investor, I would just ask that you be kind to me and share the link to my videos with all of those around you. You may be in an environment where you see me every day. Well, don't take for granted that just because I'm in that environment that everybody there knows. That's not necessarily going to be the case. I don't have time to just personally consult with each and every individual that I may associate with and don't have phone numbers for or other contact information. So if you and I have had a conversation and you know others around me that I also know, feel free to talk with them and make sure they're on board with looking up my videos and doing something with their life. And if everybody does that, then we can change the entire globe and bringing people out of poverty and giving them a new hope for life, as well as a new life and new wealth plan. The idea is to get the gains, not sell off 100%, because you want to save and reserve some of your initial beginning cost bases as things continually grow and go more expensive, either each and every second or each and every day or week or year, depending on how the networks move the assets. It's something that's just getting started and really getting to the place of taking off. That's why you'll see some of the coins that are really, really low, because they haven't really gotten started. So yes, that can be your opportunity to find other assets if you want and make those investments. I just suggest you make the investments and you let them stick and you let them sit and you let them grow in their time and their space, whether that's weeks, days, months, or potentially years of your life. Because if you let it stick and prosper at each asset's own level, by the time you retire, you'll potentially have more money than you'll know what to do with. And that's when you have a very generous life to where you can help out others all around you. And if each of us can do this as a self-directed, confident investor and find the gains for our lives and the ability to help those around us, that will change the world. That will take a lot of stress out of the entire world, because people will be more calm because they're being provided for. So, I love you by sharing, love me back by subscribing and sharing my links. Thank you, and I hope you have a great weekend.